Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember, there's a lot of things I picked up later on in my career about, certain commanders protecting me, certain people, trying to throw me under the bus when I was like a staff sergeant. But like those were like the best of times, right? Because I was just blissfully ignorant and just
Mm-hmm.
doing my job.
Yep.
Like I was never home. I was doing my job. Um, and like I want to go into a little bit like the differences between like why I ended up staying in 20. Like I think that's a good place to start for people that are looking at this. And for me, it's just like a personality thing, right? Like I don't think I've ever said to anybody like I'm an airman. Like I never lost who I am. Like there's like a lot of these perceptions or whatever, and good on people that are like that, right? Like some people it
Mm-hmm.
becomes their entire. I don't want to talk too much smack about them, but becomes their entire identity. Like if you get into this community, and I never considered Sauti or SR my entire thing
Right.
either, but like individuality is looked upon as like a good thing. Like I'm still just Trent. I've always been Trent. And so like I get it for some people where it's not like their thing or whatever. But like there's a lot of good things. Like I was able to problem solve individually. I was able to go out there and do things on my own. Like after those first few years, like very few times have people ordered me to do anything. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like no one's like no one's being like go do this or you're going to jail. Like it hasn't been like that at all. So like on the list of positive things, as far as being valued as an individual, being able to do my own thing, like those are the things that really kept me around for the last 20 years.
Well, because you're all working towards that common goal, right? Like people have this idea where, they're gonna, and again, unfortunately, COVID sort of screwed this one up because it kind of did show a little crack in what I'm about to say. But very rarely does your chain of command look at you and go, "Do this, or I'm going to punish you."
Yeah.
It's usually like, "Hey, we know that we have to do this in order to get to mission success, and you're the one that has to do it for me." And you're like, "All right, yep, got it." Um, you don't need, I love how you're honing in on the kind of individualism of it too. Marcus Luttrell very famously said that being a Navy SEAL wasn't just what he did, but it's who he was. And I've come full circle on that comment in my career. Well, I guess 180 on the comment, because full circle would be back where you started. But when I heard that, I was like, F yeah, man, being a PJ, that's not just a job. That's who I am. Well, now as I get to the end of my career and I'm getting ready to put that beret down and I'm getting ready to go do different stuff, if that was true, my life would be over. If that was true,
Yeah.
I would no longer exist. I would be lost, because there's no being a civilian PJ. I guess I could go contract in Africa and do PR and fly and try to hold on to that as long as I possibly could, although I wouldn't get hired. I don't think that it's who I am. I think it's something that I did. I think that it formed me. I think that it made me. I think it's an important part of my life. And to get all cringy, it's an important part of my story, and it's something that I'll talk about maybe sparingly at some point, but it won't be because of the job. It won't be because of, who I think I was, or any accolades that I may or may not have gotten, or any missions that I may or may not be proud of. It's because of the people that I got to serve with, the mission that we got to accomplish, and the things that we got to do together. To see when you have those lightning in a bottle moments, like 2 or 3, times in my life, looking at, Vegas or Kirtland or, the 321st or some of these other places that I've worked, and go, man, we did it right. For this time period, we had the right people. We were doing the right thing. We were doing it the right way. And we were able to do something that truly was bigger than our combined parts. It wasn't 1 + 1 = 2. It was 1 + 1 = 3, because we were able to do something that alone we couldn't have done. And without the right group of people, we wouldn't have been able to done it. And that works the opposite way. I've also been at units where you're like, nobody here was doing things the right way. This was just hell on earth every single day of every single minute. And we could never figure it out. And every day took effort. It's like being in a relationship. And they always say, if you're in a relationship that's, a loving relationship, it shouldn't feel like work all the time. You should work for it, but it shouldn't feel like a job. That's a pretty bad sign.